Early the next morning, Naruto woke up to find Nine Tails staring at him for the first time. Naruto is about to apologize, but after thinking about it carefully, he abruptly pressed this idea. Leaving the sealed space directly. No need to apologize already. The relationship between him and Nine Tails is like a relationship with a scumbag. It's only appropriate to do it when needed. Now, it's clearly not suitable. After saving up 2 more 8 trigram space packs, Naruto got up and took a shower. Because Anbu has been secretly protecting him recently, Naruto can only eat instant noodles for breakfast. While eating instant noodles, Naruto also checked his personal attributes. Personal attributes: 3, Constitution Energy, 947. Amount of Chakra, 1029. Psychic Energy, 940. Also added 10 points. Naruto raised an eyebrow. Fusion within a month, that's what it means. Give a part first, and then give the rest slowly. Then there are skills. This has not changed. The system sign and rewards are clearly stated, and no skills are given at all. Only the personal attribute and the limit of the blood succession were improved, and Naruto also found some physical blessings. Or maybe it's fighting instinct, chakra attribute, In addition to the complete yin attribute, the wind attribute has also been upgraded to LV2. Naruto quickly looked down. Blood succession limit, 1. Wood style LV1, locking. Yang, earth, water attributes will be unlocked after reaching LV5. It is true that the fusion is complete, but it has not yet reached the conditions for use. The system seems to have unique rules, but Naruto is not in a hurry. Even if it is unlocked now, he won't use it, because Konoha wouldn't mind piling up resources to train a second wood-style ninja. Yamato is not counted, and the technique of 3 bedrooms and 1 living room is not called wood-style. Naruto is indeed a showdown, and he will not take the waste route. But it doesn't mean that he wants to take the route of Tianzhao. Showdown, tell 3rd generation that he's a little genius. Just to dispel this suspicion. After all, his personality has changed, and if he is found to be secretly hiding his strength, the problem will be even bigger. After eating the instant noodles, Naruto went to school. And in the 8-sign seal space, Nine Tails never closed their eyes. This guy's breath. That's right, Nine Tails growled, making a displeased and vigilant sound. Feel. Exactly the same breath as the 1st generation project. Unbelievable, but so clear. Wood style, although still very weak. The purpose of the 1st generation wood style is a dense forest with towering trees. Naruto's wood style is a seed that hasn't germinated yet. But that's wood style after all. Why, this guy has the breath of 1st Hokage on him. That man. Nine Tails suddenly recalled the feeling of being slapped by the wood-style titan in his mind. The eyes like copper bells were suddenly full of hostility. But soon, it turned into deep doubts. Tuesday is practical class. The first subject is still shuriken throwing. After 1 month of teaching, the students have made great progress. Soon, it will be Naruto's turn. Naruto was going to get a little more serious. Not because of the replacement. Simply, I want to feel the power of the 1st generation target template. He found out yesterday when he was fighting Guy. He obviously doesn't know anything about physical skills, but he looks good when he fights. Obviously, the 1st generation project template gives more than just attributes. There is also the level of consciousness, the enhancement of combat intuition. Naruto picked up a shuriken. The students didn't care about the result of the last crane tail, and chatted with each other. Some even disbanded early. Only teacher Iruka has not given up on Naruto. Sasuke is also watching Naruto secretly. Don't think about throwing it around. You can't hit the target this time. Just keep practicing here today. Iruka said, pretending to be stern. Whoosh, Naruto threw a shuriken out of his hand. In a straight line, hit the bullseye directly. Fast, accurate, ruthless. Ding dong. Successfully learned the skill, throwing LV1. The system prompt suddenly sounded. Naruto was stunned for a moment, and with a shuriken shot, he directly gave a skill? This is obviously not what he learned this month. It seems that the 1st generation project template, which loves to play for nothing, is at work. Naruto continued to throw the shuriken at the target. Whoosh. Accurate hit. Ding dong. Your throwing technique has been upgraded to LV2. Raise a level with a flick? Naruto was startled. Iruka was also shocked. Sasuke, who was secretly watching here, was even more shocked. This guy really secretly practiced shuriken. Naruto continued to throw the shuriken. Whoosh. Hit again, but didn't upgrade. Whizzing. 2 shots were fired one after another, and the system finally gave a response. Ding dong, your throwing technique has been upgraded to LV3. With 5 shuriken shots, the throwing skill has directly risen to LV3. Naruto's heart beat faster, he seemed to have found his first LV5 skill. Sensei, can you give me some more shuriken? Naruto is trying to strike while the iron is hot. After all, it is estimated that a person can only work hard a few times in a lifetime. But when he turned his head, he was taken aback by Iruka's ghostly expression. Naruto, go on. Sasuke directly took off his ninja bag and threw it to Naruto. As expected of my opponent, you are more valuable when you are defeated like this. Thanks, although I don't know why Sasuke suddenly changed. But Naruto doesn't have time to guess right now. He took out his shuriken and swished it at the target. Hit again, hit like crazy. Iruka was stunned. The 5-shot shuriken quickly ran out. Naruto looked at Iruka again. Teacher, I seem to suddenly figured out what you taught. Let me try again? Naruto asked tentatively. Konoha is not fighting and killing, it is the way of the world. Iruka was stunned for a few seconds, and then hurriedly took off his ninja bag. After Naruto took it, he continued to throw it without saying a word. No misses, all hit the bullseye. More and more students have discovered the situation here. The crane tail of the class is scoring points like crazy. Hinata, who had been secretly watching here from the beginning, mustered up her courage and walked over to Naruto. When Naruto finished swinging the shuriken, he handed over his ninja bag. Here you. Hinata's voice was inaudible. Naruto didn't pay attention, and directly threw it after receiving it. Just now, his throwing skills are already LV4, 2 days later. In the 3rd generation project, a ninja wearing a green vest brought a birthday gift to Naruto. A few sets of clothes, very simple, and the quality is not bad. The orange suit that Naruto wore later in the 100th episode is also in it. Now Naruto is really growing up like crazy. The 3rd generation item is also very intimate, and gave him several sizes. In addition, there are 2 new pairs of shoes, and a new set of bedding. It's not over yet. Naruto also found that his home had also been moved. The windows have been repaired, the faucets have been repaired, and even the roof appears to have been strengthened. Naruto directly threw away the old worn-out clothes. And his hard life seems to have started on this day and has been improved. The cost of living is almost twice as high. Although it is still unpopular, it is not as hard as before. Of course, there is no system. There is no need to pretend to be weak. In the actual combat training, throwing the target is accurate. His throwing skills were upgraded to LV5 on the same day. It is also his first LV5 skill. The second is Tobirama's Class B water-style water dragon bomb. It was upgraded to LV5 when overtaking on corners when I signed up for Hokage Rock in the 2nd month. The hard vortex water blade of LV4, at that time, was only 2 LV1 skill packs away from being able to upgrade. Naruto was wondering whether to go to the system store to buy one. But a few days later, when he signed successfully for the 2nd time after Hokage Rock. It's not just the hard vortex water blade that can be upgraded with only 2. Even the LV4 water-style water barrier, which was only 5 LV1 away, was successfully upgraded. For the 2nd check-in, the template given is 2nd Hokage, Senju Tobirama. Not as many attributes given as Hashirama. After a month of fusion, the average attribute was only about 700. Naruto also got used to it after itching for half a day. 3 LV5 skills, each attribute has reached 1000. Naruto's template is naturally promoted to Jonin. The system also rewards a new buff. Salted Fish Purifier. As a salted fish, you don't even bother to move your nose to breathe, so let time improve your skills. Function. After putting the blood succession limit, skill into the Salted Fish Purifier for a certain period of time, it will be automatically upgraded. Cannot be used during the input period, upper limit, 2. Naruto stuffed wood style in without saying a word. Then I bought a Sharingan and stuffed it in, he could see it. Although the signed-in template can be integrated, it has to be adapted and mastered by oneself. Such is the 1st generation purpose template. If there is only 1%, he will not be able to use it for a lifetime if he does not integrate the 3 attributes in place. Not to mention breakthrough. The same goes for Tobirama's template for the 2nd generation project. Although it doesn't give a skill, it upgrades all of his water styles by 1 level. Water attribute chakra soared to LV4 on the spot. Naruto is too lazy to experiment. Otherwise, he estimates that other water styles can also soar by leaps and bounds. It is worth mentioning that, after the Jonin template, every time it is bad, the bad value will not be provided. Instead, it is changed to a fixed 200 per day, and a function that triggers a bad event has been added. Naruto didn't care at first, until he signed in the Tobarama template for the second time in a row, and then signed in the 4th generation project template again. Still failed to trigger the rotten event. Naruto reckoned that he might have gotten the plot started. The 4th generation project template will be more hip. The given attributes are generally not mentioned, and other aspects seem to be covered by the 2nd generation project template. The strength of the 4th generation is originally divided into pre-death and post-death. It's just that Naruto can't judge. After all, 9 Tails mode, and Sage mode, he can't touch now. 5th month, Naruto has checked in the 2nd generation purpose template again. The target template of 2nd generation directly came to 3%. And in the middle of the 6th month, the template for the 3rd generation goal was long overdue. There was an accident at this sign-in. When it was 13 days after signing in, Naruto made a mistake. Because it was the weekend, Guy was not there that day, and he seemed to be on a mission. Naruto checked in on Saturday but forgot on Sunday. Naruto continued to check in the next day, but it was that day. Sasuke missed class. A full month of absenteeism. It is said that he was in a coma for a week on the hospital bed. Then the spirit was also greatly damaged, and I was demented for a long time. And then, when Naruto saw Sasuke again, the guy finally returned to normal. Cold, irritable, and will fight with others at every turn. Naruto was lazy at the time, so he didn't dig out the 3 major templates, and he was not very sure about his combat state. So when I saw Sasuke, I ran away. I'm afraid that this guy will rush up if he doesn't like him, and then accidentally beat him to death. Uchiha was also exterminated that time, but Uchiha was gone, but Naruto found something amazing. 3rd generation purpose template, he is a bit fierce. None of the skills were given, but every low-level skill of Naruto is breakthrough. Includes his 3-body technique and advanced 3-body technique. Although the 3rd generation project does not have the blood succession limit, there are no other plugins. But this man's understanding and matching of ninjutsu and chakra is top-notch. This is a real ninja. With his savvy and hard work, he became Hokage. It's not the same as the 1st generation project and the 2nd generation project. But Naruto, who has collected 4 Hokage templates, is a little unhappy. The Hokage template doesn't give him substantive skills, but it gave him various levels of understanding, such as combat awareness, chakra use and so on, if before, he only relied on attributes to upgrade all the way. Perhaps, at most, he could become a salted fish ninja with explosive attributes but negative combat power. But now, with the blessing of the savvy of the 4 major Hokages, Naruto is really different. He gradually changed from a salted fish to a salted fish with understanding. Naruto not only discovered the text in the textbook, he seemed to be able to understand it without a teacher. Even the knowledge points in it, he can understand it at a glance. Gradually, Naruto really became a genius. Kakashi, go somewhere with me. Yes. Walking on the streets of Konoha, the village names will salute respectfully when they see 3rd generation. 3rd generation also nodded in return one by one. Kakashi silently followed behind. In the eyes of a pair of dead fish, it seemed that he had lost all pursuits. Oh, here we are. The 3rd generation stopped suddenly. Come on, let's go up and have a look, Kakashi. 3rd generation said. The figures of the 2 disappeared immediately, and when they reappeared, they had already arrived at the door of a room. 3rd generation took out the key. When opening the door, Kakashi had quick eyes and quick hands, and picked up a piece of paper that had fallen in the crack of the door. Is it a precaution against infiltration? But the note is too obvious. Kakashi had a strange look in his eyes. It's not surprising that the 3rd generation project is. Look, this kid thinks more than you do. Yes. Kakashi responded and opened the note. Dear Mr. Thieves, the money is under the pillow, not much, please don't mess up my room. Kakashi was speechless. 3rd generation was right, this guy did think more than he did. So, the reason for leaving this note is simply because you are afraid that the room will be messed up? Kakashi glanced at the room, which was so simple that it was almost shabby. That's why I'm afraid of chaos. I really don't know whether to say that he is smart or that he is extremely lazy. Go in and have a look, you are their guide Jonin after all. Yes. Kakashi walked lightly into the house. The room is not too big and not too clean, but because the thing is too small, it looks a bit empty. A bed, a table, a simple wardrobe, nothing. The quilt on the bed was simply folded. There are 5 or 6 bowls of instant noodles on the table, and there is a hot water pot next to it. Kakashi is totally imaginable. This guy took out instant noodles to boil water, and then ate a casual bite to deal with the past scene. There's no kitchen. Hasn't this guy had a decent meal? Kakashi frowned. That's not true. Third generation smoked without worrying about the smell of the smoke leaving traces. Guy would come to him every time he finished the task, and he would lose a lot of money every time. Except for food and necessities, this child basically doesn't spend money randomly. Although he has never cooked, there is no need to worry about his nutrition. Kakashi's expression became even weirder upon hearing that. He had heard Guy mention it. In order to get Naruto interested in gymnastics, Guy once developed a gambling-style education. If Naruto loses, he has to do as many push-ups as possible. If he loses, he has to give Naruto how much money. However, the competition items have to be decided by Naruto. Guy never won anyway. Open the wardrobe. Inside are 3 sets of identical clothes. The upper body is a pure white t-shirt, and the bottom is black cropped pants. The taste is boring. Kakashi makes an evaluation. Then there is the bathroom and toilet. Not surprisingly, there is nothing in it except the necessities of life. Kakashi looked around and made an overall assessment. It didn't feel like a 12-year-old kid, more like a 22-year-old single guy's room. Dull, boring, simple, but functional. This child really has no material desires, but he is similar to his father. Added a sentence to the third generation item. Kakashi's eyes dimmed a little after hearing that. Teacher and the teacher's child, there are indeed similarities. But it is also obvious that they are 2 completely different personalities. Teachers are always sunny and positive. Every corner of life seems to have temperature. But this kid's room, somehow, Kakashi felt a tinge of coldness, a tinge of loneliness. Okay, Kakashi, it's not too early. The class classification ceremony is probably almost done, let's go. Third generation took a puff of cigarette and paused, and that Uchiha child, I'll leave it to you. Kakashi glanced at the instant noodles on the table. Yes, in classrooms, little Sakura sat in the middle, fidgeting. Sasuke sat coldly in the middle of the first row. His hands were crossed and his head was dragged, his eyes were cold, and he didn't know what he was thinking. Naruto lay prone on his seat, looking at the sunlight outside the window. 6 years. This seat has been covered by him, but today is the last day. Because just yesterday, they had successfully completed the graduation assessment and became a glorious Konoha Genin. Today is the day of class division, and they are the last group. Little Sakura was a little nervous. 1 Naruto, 1 Sasuke. The top student in the 2 classes is actually her teammate? Naruto was also a little nervous. This day, after all, has come. The plot is just beginning. He is about to leave ninja school and become a ninja. The school days are coming to an end after all. I really don't know what to do in the future, in school. He used a little bit of strength in the actual combat class, and the opponent had to kneel on the spot. The previous exams looked like Bibles, and the unknown Sakura flower script. After signing in to Hokage Rock many times to get the Hokage template, I suddenly learned without a teacher. He even doubted it for a moment. Hokage template, can it load some memory for him? But later he found out. Simple, he became smart. The 4 shadows each have their own areas of expertise. I won't talk about the first generation project. The second generation is a man known as the god of forbidden technique, the only figure Orochimaru worships. Third generation's mortal body is forced to stand shoulder to shoulder. Fourth generation can become Hokage just by relying on the word excellent. The templates of the 4 Hokages do not contain skills. But it is full of feelings about both ninja and chakra. This directly led to Naruto suddenly becoming a top student. He almost became the head student of the grade. Third generation has high hopes for him. Iruka is proud of him. Guy even described his youth as hot as the sun. Naruto is also quite helpless. Everyone only saw his glamorous appearance. But who can know how hard he has lived in the past 6 years? The others were ushered away 3 hours later. Jonin, the instructor of the 7th class, finally arrived late. Kakashi walked to the podium with sleepy eyes and scanned the audience immediately. Sasuke was the closest, staring at him from the moment he entered the door. In the end, it is the guy who bears the blood and deep hatred. His eyes are really cold. Little Sakura sat in the middle, first glanced at Sasuke the moment he entered the door, and then quickly looked back. I don't have any opinions, and my grades in all subjects are mediocre, but I should be able to serve as an atmosphere group in the team. Finally, there is Naruto sitting at the furthest distance. Kakashi took another look. Ah, it seems, at first glance, it really looks like a teacher. Look again, the shadow is gone. The dead fish eye of the same style as him has a very low sense of presence. It is lying on the table, and you can't find it if you don't pay attention. Kakashi looked away and sighed secretly. 2 problem children, 1 atmosphere group. This 7th class is not easy to take, sorry. Kakashi switched fake smiles for a second. I hesitated for a long time at the fork in my life, so I'm late. Sasuke frowned. Could such a guy really be Jonin? Naruto nodded secretly. I can understand you very well. Little Sakura grumbled and complained in a low voice. I'm deceiving people when I hear it. Okay, anyway, come with me first. From now on, you are not students anymore. Before you become a ninja, learn to say goodbye to your classroom. Soon, Class 7 followed Kakashi to the rooftop. Let me introduce myself first, Kakashi said, leaning on the railing. But teacher, what should I say in my self-introduction? Little Sakura asked, raising her hand. Kakashi scratched his head and said, didn't you learn to introduce yourself in school? For example, hobbies and dreams. As soon as Kakashi finished speaking, Sasuke said coldly, shouldn't you introduce yourself before letting others introduce themselves? That's right. The teacher is very suspicious at first glance, Little Sakura also echoed. Naruto, on the other hand, silently looked up at the clouds. Finally disappeared. The moment Kakashi stepped into the ninja school, all Anbu disappeared. Since she missed 3 years ago, she almost kicked to death a little ghost who rushed over screaming, hit monsters. To this day, Sarutobi Hiruzen was finally willing to stop watching him. But in fact, behind him, there is almost no room left. I can't put it on anymore. 4 Hokage's templates are too strong. Even if he sleeps a lot every day, he still misses classes every 3 days. Deliberately let your mind be empty and not think about anything. After a few years, he still couldn't suppress his crazily improved strength. All his skills, chakra attributes, are growing almost every day. After a while, an upgrade prompt pops up. Even though he had stopped using templates 3 years ago, he saved them and enhanced them when he got used to them. But the 3rd generation's purposeful surveillance made him fall into an endless loop. Adapting to the template takes discipline, a lot of practice. But Naruto has no conditions, one is too lazy to do it. Since he is so strong, why should he work hard? And under Anbu's surveillance, he didn't dare to go too far. A ninja school student, the 3-body technique throwing technique can be a bit better. This is called a little genius. But if water style wood style was fried everywhere, then Sarutobi Hiruzen is probably going to let Danzo out. A distinguished heavenly gods package, love Konoha ever since. If you can't practice, you can't adapt, and if you can't adapt, you dare not practice. For this endless loop, Naruto can only make his usual choices. Don't go to the edge, silently bear, 6 years. It has been a full 6 years. Naruto didn't even know how he survived. Eat and sleep every day, sleep and eat, go to school and sleep after school. He couldn't suppress the various upgrades, but the good news is, he finally graduated. 3rd generation surveillance was finally withdrawn. He could finally find a chance to go out secretly to have a good time. A sad fact, the water styles he has accumulated in the past 6 years are still only the 6 at the beginning. Fewer numbers mean faster upgrades. With the blessing of the 2nd generation and 3rd generation project templates, all his water styles have been upgraded to LV9. But so far, he hasn't used it even once. Okay, it's your turn, Naruto. In addition to the name, tell me more information. After all 3 introductions, it was finally Naruto's turn. Naruto came back to his senses. One glance at Sasuke and little Sakura, and one last look at Kakashi. 3 dead fish eyes collided at this moment. There is an endless story behind it. Behind one is an indescribable sorrow. My name is Uzumaki Naruto, and my hobby is being alone. The dream is to find a house facing the sea, the spring is warm and the flowers are blooming. What Naruto said was the truth. Bad guys never lie. Stay alone and no one bothers you. Don't worry about eating distinguished heavenly gods if your strength is exposed. Find a house by the sea, Enjoy the sea breeze and watch the sunset. Life is simple and beautiful. Little Sakura was stunned for a long time after hearing this. I don't understand. Is the spiritual world of top students so profound? It's better to understand Sasuke, although I don't know what's going on, but he's so handsome. After hearing this, Sasuke turned his head and glanced at Naruto. His eyes were full of disdain. This guy doesn't deserve to be a ninja. He still remembers Naruto back then. Although he seemed to have no fighting spirit, he practiced physical skills until late at night every day. But gradually, Naruto changed. He no longer challenges higher levels, no longer practice. Every actual combat training either ends hastily, or simply admit defeat. A guy blinded by talent. Now you are no longer worthy to be my opponent. It's such an idealized dream, it makes my heart move. Kakashi said and clapped his hands. Okay, everyone. That's all for the self-introduction. Starting tomorrow, we will start the mission. Salted fish can always cherish each other. Kakashi looked at Naruto secretly, but was a little surprised in his heart. I like to be alone, completely different from my teacher. It seemed that the life in the village still had an impact on the child's character. But fortunately, at least there is still a good wish. Hope it keeps up. In the afternoon, Naruto walked silently on the way home. It's finally coming to an end. He actually has some expectations for the future ninja life. Although I can't hold back my strength, but I believe that if you can go out of the village to practice secretly, you should be able to adapt quickly. But at this time, Naruto frowned. He sensed something flying over not far behind him. Go to hell, monster Naruto, from a little devil. He was hitting the back of his head with an irregular object. At this moment, Naruto instinctively tensed up, whether it's a shuriken or a rotten egg. Naruto's instinct had been triggered. This includes the combat mechanism and combat awareness of the 4 Hokages. He could clearly determine where this irregular object fell. It's the back of the head. You only need to gently turn your head sideways to avoid it. But here comes the problem. No Hokage can allow someone behind him to throw a cold arrow. Naruto has locked on to the kid who attacked him. In my mind, several plans flashed in an instant. Option 1. All he needs is a body flicker technique to flash past. 1 knee, shattering the internal organs of this brat. A hand knife slit the throat of this kid. Option 2. He has a ninja bag on his lap, which contains a kunai and 2 shurikens. It has been by my side for many years. He can open the ninja bag in an instant. 1 shuriken for defense, and the other for piercing the opponent's throat. This is just a non-ninjutsu solution. There are more ninjutsu plans. Water barrier defends wood style's field control, and then the hard vortex water blade directly kills it in seconds. These ideas are just taking shape in the blink of an eye. As long as Naruto is willing, he can change the kid behind him into 100 ways to die. But, snapped, the small stone hit Naruto on the back of the head with precision. Naruto is not in pain, but he still has to pretend to be in pain. Oops, it hurts. Naruto patted his head with a dead fish face, then looked back. A stinky brat wearing a long blue scarf, with a smug grin. Haha, stupid Naruto. Look, everyone, the monster Naruto was stunned by me, ha ha ha. Many villagers looked over. But for this kind of bad behavior, this kind of mischievous prank, the attitude is surprisingly consistent. Haha. Well done, Master Konohamaru, as expected of the grandson of Lord 3rd Generation. Come on, throw him another one. Master Konohamaru wants to be a hero like the 3rd Generation Master when he grows up. Try to get this guy out. Naruto's eyes turned cold. But he still didn't say anything. After 6 years, he was used to it. Yes, he is indeed a monster. There is a monster that can destroy Konoha sealed in the body. He himself is a monster. Not all 4 major Hokage templates use 10% monsters. Nor are all 7 attributes upgraded to Jonin standard monsters. Not all water styles have been upgraded to LV9, but monsters that have never been used. Rather, it is a savings of 365 days. For 72 consecutive months, only missed 1 Hokage rock check-in. An average of 3.5 per day, now close to 8,000 sealed space gift packs. A monster with a value of more than 400,000 and a value of salted fish exceeding 1 million. Naruto walked forward silently. As long as he wants, everyone present must die. But it's not time yet. Danzo hasn't contacted him once in so many years, are you relieved? Of course it is. He has distinguished heavenly gods what he is afraid of. Konoha's Sharingan is on him now. Distinguished Heavenly Gods is more difficult to play. Anyway, Naruto has nothing to do, and now he can only kneel down and admit his mistake. But the system has a solution. The salted fish purifier, regardless of the conditions, is forcibly upgraded, but it needs to consume a certain amount of salted fish points. Naruto has been completely broken, and it is all handed over to the system. He has nothing else to ask for. The left eye can preserve life, and the right eye can preserve integrity. Preferably both eyes are of the illusion-resistant type. Then he can turn his face directly. Naruto is getting further and further away from the crowd. But the sound is very clear. The son of the fourth generation, even breathing is wrong. The grandson of the third generation is right to play pranks and hurt people. The grandson of the third generation stoned the son of the fourth generation. It was Konoha's hero who fought against the monster-tailed beast. Very nice. You will all be heroes one day. 5,000 sealed space gift packs are not guaranteed, and 10,000 can't wait. 8,000 should be almost the same. He also has wood style. He also has Sharingan. Almost. The Orochimaru Chunin exam arrives at the battlefield. At that time, there just happened to be a big commotion. If we win, we can talk about the rest later. If you lose, it's all up to Orochimaru and Nine Tails. Naruto walked forward silently. People in Konoha have been put to death for 6 years. He couldn't wait for Pen to call. For his 13th birthday present this year, he wants a burning Konoha. The next day, 5:55 in the morning, little Sakura, who arrived at the agreed place early, finally saw Sasuke. But he didn't see Naruto's figure. Naruto didn't arrive until the appointed time of 6 o'clock. Little Sakura couldn't help feeling a little anxious. Oops, Naruto won't be late again. The teacher said yesterday that there can only be 9 graduates this year. Sasuke-kun, we won't be directly disqualified by Kakashi. Sasuke's eyes were cold and his brows frowned, but he didn't respond. But he secretly scolded Naruto in his heart. This self-defeating guy, it's best not to delay the pace of others becoming ninjas. Fortunately, that Kakashi didn't come either. Sasuke narrowed his eyes and analyzed. Either Kakashi or Naruto. Both seem to be the same type. Needless to say, Naruto rarely misses classes despite his good grades. But the guy never got to school on time, and Kakashi, yesterday made them wait 3 hours longer, so it should be the same way. Damn. Sasuke gritted his teeth. Why do his teammates and teachers have such rubbish personalities? They also deserve to be ninjas and jonin? Time is spent waiting. Before I knew it, an hour passed. Little Sakura was a little hungry, but she didn't dare to say anything when she saw Sasuke was motionless. 3 hours passed, and it was already 10 o'clock, and it was almost time for lunch. Kakashi didn't come. Naruto didn't come either. Little Sakura was so hungry that she found a place to sit down. She kind of regrets listening to Kakashi now. What did you say that you might spit it out after eating breakfast? If you really want to eat it, it will be digested now. But this level is nothing to a girl, just lose weight. Finally, when the time came to 10:30, Naruto, who was long overdue, finally appeared. Good morning, Naruto greeted listlessly. Sasuke gave him a hard look. The little Sakura was also puffed up and turned into a steamed bun face. But today's Naruto is not as naive plus dog-licking as the original body. With a lazy temperament and a well-developed height and body, he is still a little handsome. It's just that the expression looks a little sad all day long. There is also the dead fisheye of the same style of Kakashi. Sasuke was upset no matter how he looked at it. Little Sakura was also very angry with Naruto for being late, but she didn't dare to say anything to this hidden top student. After all, Naruto is now a little genius who likes to sleep. And little Sakura. Culture class is okay. The actual combat class results are average. In the 7th class, little Sakura who knows her strength. Anger is anger, but relatively restrained. Of course, even if little Sakura gets angry and says a few words about Naruto. Naruto just doesn't care. After all, compared to those villagers who accompanied him since childhood. No matter how arrogant little Sakura is, the words she speaks are only lighter than air in Naruto's ears. Naruto silently went to sit under a big tree. I was a little full for breakfast, and now I'm a little sleepy. However, just when Naruto was about to squint for a while. Yo, good morning, near 11 o'clock, Kakashi finally appeared with a smile on his face. You're late, little Sakura said angrily immediately. Hungry from 5 a.m. to close to 11 a.m., Little Sakura's temper could hardly be contained. That's fine with Naruto, he's already used to it. But this guy, as a teacher, was late twice in a row. Okay, just finish the task and have lunch. Kakashi smiled and took out 2 bells. The bells collided in the air and made a crisp sound. Sasuke looked over coldly. No matter how strong this Jonin is, just make him a ninja. Naruto also opened his eyes, and then closed again. He was very impressed with this level, and he had memorized the customs clearance manual by heart. Before 12 o'clock, as long as the 3 of you can snatch the bell from me, you will be considered qualified. Certainly. As Kakashi said, the dead fish eye suddenly became cold. There are only 2 bells, which means, one of you has to be eliminated. Saying that, Kakashi regained his dead fish eyes. So, shall we begin? Whoosh, Kakashi disappeared. In fact, he hid in the dark and secretly observed the reactions of the 3 of them. Little Sakura stood motionless, her little face gradually turning pale. One is Mr. Sasuke from Excellent, and the other is Mr. Naruto, who is also a top student. There are only 2 bells, isn't that? Hey, Naruto, let's discuss countermeasures. Sasuke stepped out from the shade of the tree. Naruto paused for a moment, then walked up. Anyway, you still have to go through the scene. The 3rd generation revoked Anbu's surveillance of him, isn't it because Kakashi has become his new eyes? Kakashi is certainly not as ruthless as the 3rd generation's children in dealing with the children of his mentor. But if the test between partners cannot be completed, Naruto estimates that Kakashi will not agree. Maybe even because of worry, I went to make a small report with 3rd generation. Naruto, I don't care what you think, I'm definitely going to be a ninja anyway. Sasuke came up with a warning wave, as if the enemy was not Kakashi, but Naruto as a companion. If you want to give up, you should get out as soon as possible, and don't hold me back later. Kakashi in the dark frowned slightly. This kid, not to mention, he looks a lot like me back then, doesn't he? Pity, there was no one like that guy around him. Instead, there was an extra teammate who was like a salted fish. Kakashi shook his head. The one who seems to be most worried is little Sakura. But the most anxious one is actually Sasuke. Yes, you're right. Naruto gave Sasuke a lot of face. Then he secretly pointed in the direction not far away. Kakashi is right there, go Sasuke, take your dreams, come on. Very interesting. Guyu was ordered only after the entire clan was destroyed, and he only had a few big ninjutsu after 6 years of learning. Just like that, you still want to seek revenge from your brother? Naruto, who is only 1 step away from the outbreak, has slowly released Shikai psychologically. It's my business that I mess up. What the hell are you pretending to be here? Kakashi is right there, go? Don't you look down on this Jonin? Anyway, when your brother sees this guy, he has to call him senior. If you are capable, take all the bells away. Naruto didn't say a word, but it seemed like he said it all. Sasuke followed the direction Naruto pointed, but didn't move for a while. Kakashi in the dark is also a little confused. No. How did this guy find him? Kakashi was astonished and almost missed hiding by accident. Although he stabilized his figure in time, there was still some movement. Sasuke caught the information right away. Secretly astonished by Naruto's insight, he rushed forward without hesitation. Little Sakura, Naruto, follow me, also directed. Okay. Little Sakura was nervous, but still followed. Naruto ran unhurriedly at the end. Running so slowly, watching a play is only one aspect. There are several sets of plans in his mind now, and he is hesitating how to choose. In this world, there are geniuses. According to the information and situation on the field, it can analyze the most suitable combat plan in a very short time. Such as Shikamaru with high IQ, for example, 4th Hokage, who sacrificed for 12 years. Naruto now also has this function, but it comes from various Hokage templates. Using the Hokage template doesn't make him a genius who can analyze battlefield situations. But as long as there is one, or multiple enemies appear. As long as he has a goal, he can instinctively make many battle plans. Now the target is Kakashi. Grab the bell, and then feed the rice to the mouth of the person who didn't grab the bell, which is regarded as a customs clearance. The original body became the one being fed in this level. Although Naruto had just eaten, he didn't want to go hungry. So, little Sakura, have you made up your mind yet? Naruto suddenly speeded up and came to little Sakura and axe. Sasuke has already matched Kakashi. The two were colliding with physical skills, But Kakashi obviously didn't cheer up, even though Sasuke attacked, he just dodged. Although it seems unlikely, but Kakashi still wanted to see the result of the trio's cooperation. Ah? When little Sakura heard the voice, she suddenly trembled in her heart. Naruto, this is reminding her, are you going to give up on your own initiative? Little Sakura bit her lip, she is not stupid. The moment Kakashi said the rules, she probably guessed the ending. Sasuke-kun wants to be a ninja so much. Naruto-kun doesn't seem to care, but it should. In short, if only 2 people can pass the assessment, with a high probability, it shouldn't be her. Forehead. Naruto just glanced at little Sakura's expression, and knew that little Sakura was thinking too much. He just wanted to say, your big brother will be miserable later, be prepared mentally. Whoosh. Naruto's speed boost was launched violently, with a smirk on his lips. Mr. Kakashi, senior guy asked me to say hello for him. Konoha. Great whirlwind, Kakashi is having fun playing Sasuke. Seeing Naruto speeding up and sprinting suddenly, he was stunned for a moment. So fast, but Guy never mentioned to him before that Naruto has such a fast speed? There is a flaw. Suddenly, Sasuke's eyes lit up, and a jumping jab went straight to Kakashi's neck. The corners of Sasuke's mouth hooked slightly. What Jonin, in front of Uchiha's blood, is simply. Boom. Kakashi kicked Sasuke, who found a flaw, and hit Naruto who was rushing straight. Oops. Good risk unexpectedly, Guy taught Naruto all this trick. The two really don't understand each other. After kicking Kakashi out, he proudly took out the belt to show off. Go back and discuss the tactics carefully before taking action. This is the first one I teach you. Huh? Kakashi's pupils shrank suddenly. Naruto. Can't seem to stop the car? Sasuke, get out of the way. Naruto yelled anxiously, and then kicked Sasuke. This kick was so powerful that Sasuke almost got kicked out, and directly hit Kakashi again. Sasuke. Naruto continues to roar with the acting skills he has honed for 6 years. Stop. Kakashi quickly caught Sasuke, he could see clearly just now. Sasuke rolled his eyes when he was kicked. Here, Kakashi made a mistake. He underestimated Sasuke's willpower and determination to become a ninja. Sasuke was indeed almost sent away by Naruto just now. The severe pain even made him faint immediately. But as soon as he closed his eyes, he saw Itachi's cruel face. The hatred made Sasuke wake up in an instant, and he stretched out his hand forcefully enduring the severe pain. Go straight to Kakashi's waist. Tricked. Kakashi was startled. Is this also a tactic of 3.2 people? Not like it. Surprised, but it did not affect Kakashi's judgment. A top knee lifted Sasuke into the air, while positioning himself for the approaching Naruto. Kakashi is still willing to respect Naruto's taijutsu. After all, he is the excellent student that Guy often talks about. Bring it on. Kakashi opens 20% seriousness mode. But it was also the second mistake Kakashi made. He underestimated Naruto. Underestimated the strength that Naruto himself didn't know well. It's kind of simple. Kakashi-sensei. Naruto's voice suddenly sounded beside Kakashi. Kakashi's pupil shrank. Suddenly realized, this guy just came over with Sasuke using the transformation technique. Complete the transformation technique in such a short period of time, and turned into an object that even he couldn't find. Naruto's transformation technique is too outrageous. Brush, puff. Naruto in front of him disappeared into white smoke. The main body is interlaced with Kakashi's figure. 2 bells appeared on Naruto's hands, jingling. Naruto. Sasuke lay on the ground, gritting his teeth, but the severe pain made him dizzy before his eyes. He was played, no doubt about it. Naruto ended the fight with just 1 clone. It really doesn't taste good to be tricked, but he can accept this result if he can become a ninja. Sasuke closed his eyes unwillingly and passed out completely. Oh my, I was careless. Kakashi scratched his head and said perfunctorily. Naruto's performance surprised him, but he also understands. After all, he is the teacher's son. 6 years were only used to polish the most basic techniques. It is quite normal to have such a result. After all, the teacher is an existence that can even improve the forbidden technique of the 2nd generation goal. But Kakashi's gaze returned to calm. Next is the main event. Naruto has proven his strength, proved his talent. The next step is to prove whether you have the same quality as the teacher. Naruto-kun. Sasuke-kun, is he okay? I don't know either. How about we put him down secretly? Mr. Kakashi seems to have left. I have no objection. Aren't you going to help, Naruto-kun? I'm a little scared. It's okay, I'll help you relax. Sasuke slowly opened his eyes, and the severe pain all over his body instantly made him grin his teeth. Finally he took a breath. Sasuke found that he had been tied to a stake. Little Sakura was standing beside him, hesitating whether to untie the rope for him. Untie the rope? Why am I tied here? Where is that guy? Sasuke struggled a bit, but to no avail. His tone was as cold as ever. He might be watching from a certain corner. Naruto said indifferently. As soon as the words came out, little Sakura froze in place. Naruto cooked in silence, smiling inwardly. Little Sakura, as expected of you. Didn't he love Sasuke to death? When I answered the bell, I was quite willing. So, what's going on now? Sasuke frowned, but quickly regained his composure. He is tied, and little Sakura and Naruto are sitting. There is no need to guess about the ownership of the bell. Unwilling, very unwilling, but Sasuke doesn't want another year. He has been waiting for a day for 5 years, and he doesn't want to just give up. Right, there must be a way. The rules are what Kakashi says. What 27 people can only leave 9, what 3 people can only leave 2. If they are all like this, then only plural numbers will remain. If he wasn't sent away directly, he must still have a chance. Yes, there must be a chance. At this time, Naruto has already handed over the rice spoon. The lunchbox was empty, there was only one mouthful left for Sasuke. What are you doing? Sasuke's eyes were full of anger. If this guy hadn't kicked him, he wouldn't have passed out. Right. Why is he tied here? He clearly remembered that Naruto got the bell. And little Sakura. Sasuke's eyes suddenly turned cold. This girl didn't do anything. Why did Naruto give her the bell? Take a bite, there may be some tests later. Don't get into trouble if you are so hungry that you have no strength. Naruto shrugged and said, Test? Sasuke frowned and was about to axe. But Naruto has already stuffed it with a spoonful. Sasuke's eyes turned cold. This guy actually played him again. But, so hungry. Sasuke chewed without knowing it, and after swallowing it all, he glared at Naruto. Naruto. Sasuke-kun, Naruto-kun is also for your own good. Little Sakura hurriedly picked up the bento and approached. She would not let this opportunity pass. Ms. Kakashi said, I can't feed you, otherwise we will all be punished. But Sasuke, who was in a fit of anger, obviously wouldn't appreciate it. Go away, ugly. Who wants to eat? Naruto, you go tell Kakashi, I should be the one to take. Naruto hurriedly pressed the little Sakura's hand, and forcibly fed the rice into Sasuke's mouth. If this guy finishes talking, Kakashi might really disqualify the 3 of them. Konoha is not fighting and killing, it is the way of the world. But obviously, Sasuke doesn't know these things. And Naruto regained his dead fish eyes, and his face regained his indifference. Human nature. So fragile. From the very beginning, little Sakura tricked him into making the first move. The same is true for untying the rope, and the same is true for feeding. It may be intentional, or it may be the nature of green tea. Who cares? So is Sasuke. Self-reliant genius, arrogant by nature. Just rush at Kakashi with a word of excitement. When I came back to my senses, the first thing I did was to take back little Sakura's bell. Tisk tisk. Such a team can actually form a bond. Just like Naruto's original body, can he do it by force? It's real. Growing up from the snack's distinguished heavenly gods, Bietianzui eventually evolved. Kakashi appeared as expected. First, pretend to be angry. Sasuke's heart beat faster. Little Sakura is also pale. Not to be outdone, Naruto widened his dead fish eyes to show his presence. Then, Kakashi burst into a congratulatory smile. Past, little Sakura suddenly turned from shocked to stunned. Sasuke also quickly swallowed the rice in his mouth, puzzled. Why? Kakashi suppressed his smile and looked up at the sky. He said that sentence, the words left to him by his best friend. In this world, a guy who doesn't follow the rules is a piece of trash. But people who don't even care about their companions are worse than trash. After Kakashi finished speaking, he looked straight at Sasuke. This is the first lesson I teach you. It is also the most basic rule after you become a ninja. Naruto listened silently. This sentence has a high rate of appearance, but it is a bit ironic. The first to express a similar meaning was the third generation order. When teaching the boy Sanin, he also used this bell and taught the same principle. Then, the bell came to Minato. The death of White Fang gave Kakashi a childhood shadow and became a rule monster. Minato once tried to teach Kakashi this truth, but in the end, it was Obito who woke Kakashi up with a box lunch. Now, it's their turn again. How ironic. This sentence is stained with blood for the first time, isn't it Kakashi's father? Wouldn't ye buy teeth back then, Hokage half-sleeves? If it wasn't for threatening the third generation's destination, White Fang would be a hero, right? At least he won't die so aggrieved, will of fire? Ah. In Naruto's view, this is nothing more than a means of ruling for the purpose of the third generation. But it doesn't matter anymore. The benevolent see benevolence and the wise see wisdom. Anyway, it's almost burned out. In the evening, the Hokage building. Sasuke is still talented, but his personality problem will be bigger, which was also caused by the incident that year. Little Sakura may have a little low self-esteem, but overall it's qualified. Better than I expected, Kakashi simply reported. The third generation lit the bong, skillfully. Hiss. Call. What about Naruto? That kid's personality is similar to yours. You two should have something in common, right? Mentioning Naruto, Kakashi instantly thought of that dead fish-like face. His expression suddenly became awkward. It's because my personality is similar to mine, so it's more difficult to deal with. Kakashi smirked, then his expression gradually became serious. Master third generation, I would like to apply for a ninjutsu test on Naruto. The smoking third generation paused. Oh, the ninjutsu test does not refer to the assessment of a ninja's mastery of ninjutsu. Instead, it is to test what ninjutsu is suitable for a genin to learn. Instructing Jonin will test the chakra properties in the students through the chakra test strips. And judge according to character and talent. After finally deciding what kind of ninja the student will learn, he needs to report to Hokage. Of course, low-level ninjutsu does not need to be reported. Some sea-level ninjutsu and ninjutsu above sea level need to be reported. Third generation's eyes were slightly surprised. Since Kakashi has proposed it, he obviously has an idea. You have high hopes for Naruto, Kakashi. Just graduated, just passed the genin assessment, ready to teach that kid ninjutsu? It seems that Kakashi is really optimistic about this kid. You must know that the students he brought in the past few years were all directly ordered to return to school. That's true, Lord Third Generation, Kakashi said sternly, although a person like me has no right to expect anything from others, Naruto's talent is indeed the best in the 7th class. Even Sasuke, who has that kind of blood, is still much worse than Naruto. Kakashi remembered the performance of the two. Indeed, not even a star and a half. Naruto doesn't show much though. But from discovering his position at the beginning, to what seemed to be a mistake afterwards, it was actually a tactical operation in disguise. No matter from which angle, they are better than Sasuke who rushed up directly, even with killing intent. And the last and most important assessment, Kakashi could hear the words that Sasuke almost blurted out. If you change it to the previous one, no matter how excellent this child is, it is absolutely impossible for him to become his student. According to my observation, his basic ninjutsu is very solid, and his taijutsu is beyond genin standard. So I applied. After the regular chakra manipulation training, he can learn ninjutsu in stages. Please approve, Lord Third Generation. Kakashi half bowed solemnly. Third Generation stared at Kakashi for a long time. Putting down the bong, he picked it up again. You are their guide, Jonin. If you think it's appropriate, then go ahead and teach. That's your teacher's son after all, I believe you, Kakashi. Ninjutsu below B level, you can teach it as you like. Third Generation took a deep breath. Kakashi bowed again. Thank you so much, Third Generation. Then, see you tomorrow. Whoosh, Kakashi disappeared. Third Generation looked at the photo hanging on the wall. Students who can be recognized by Kakashi must be extremely talented. Yes, that was the case with Minato back then. He still remembers to this day. It is probably Naruto's current age. How excellent is that ninja school student who rescued Kushina all by himself. Third Generation has always been proud of the decisions they made back then. Give the teacher Flying Thunder God to Minato at that time. That led directly to a generation of gold flashes afterwards. Unfortunately, after Minato's death, the improvement of Flying Thunder God also stalled. Third Generation took a breath. Naruto, well inherited his father's talent. But Let's start with low-level ninjutsu. For Naruto, there is nothing wrong with inheriting his father's ninjutsu. But for the Jinchuriki of Konoha, it does not need. It is enough to start from low-level ninjutsu to understand chakra. Cloud Shinobi's perfect Jinchuriki is the way Naruto should go. Today's Konoha doesn't need a second gold sparkle. It is a Jinchuriki who can control 9 tails. 1. The Jinchuriki who serve Konoha. Third generation continues to smoke. After a while of puffing, the entire office was filled with smoke. The next day, at 8:15 in the morning, Naruto was not late this time, because the check-in just happened to be completed. But Kakashi was still late. They have to enter the Hokage building to claim the bounty task. Hokage building, the logo of Konoha, but Naruto rarely comes to this place. Except for Hokage Rock, the check-in takes 4 hours. Naruto has no excuse to stay here. Anbu's a lot, he's just lying at the gate and has to be kicked out. And since there is the ultimate check-in position like Hokage Rock, he didn't struggle. At 11:50, Kakashi finally showed up. "Oh, why did you come here so early? Didn't you agree to gather at 12 o'clock? It seems that you are all very punctual people like me." Sasuke and little Sakura couldn't complain anymore. Naruto was looking forward to it. From 8:15 to now, the check-in time is almost here. It was the first time in my life to sign in at the Hokage building. Not to mention, I'm really looking forward to it. Follow Kakashi all the way inside. Other newly graduated genin will be a little nervous and curious when they come to the Hokage building for the first time. But the 7th class had little Sakura, and the reaction was different. Sasuke grimaced. Uchiha is also a part of Konoha, but the high-level people sitting here let the Itachi slaughter the whole family. Really? The task of killing that man must be done by him. Well, it's already showing signs of rebellion. Naruto walked forward with his head in his pocket, looking as if he was too nervous to look up. But in fact, he didn't dare to meet Anbu's eyes. Every Anbu here, he seems to be able to remember the breath. After all, the task of monitoring the 9 tails Jinchuriki has always been in shifts. It is also to prevent feelings for Jinchuriki. You can't hide the eyes of someone you know. Naruto didn't think that his acting skills had been honed to this point. It's better to be steady. There are quite a few teams who came to pick up the mission today. But because Kakashi was late, I didn't wait much. There was only one team left in front, and the 7th class was honestly waiting at the door. Naruto is naturally happy. Finally, when the office door opened, Naruto also heard the system prompt. Ding dong. Sign in is complete. Sign in location, Hokage building. Estimated time, 4 hours. Sign in reward. 3rd generation project skill pack 1, bad performance value plus 75. The gleam of light that rose in Naruto's eyes went out. 3rd generation skill pack. One thing to say, it is definitely the most useless of the 4 movies. Wuhei, the so-called professor of ninjutsu, claims to have mastered all ninjutsu. Although it is a bit exaggerated, the skill pool for 3rd generation's purpose is definitely bottomless. The deeper the skill pool, the less refined the skills in it. Besides, based on Naruto's experience of signing in at the ninja school, Forbidden Technique is a waste gift pack that does not have, and occasionally intersperses with 3 body technique and throwing technique. It is estimated that there is nothing to sign in for the 3rd generation project. Naruto opened it tentatively. Acquire a level ninjutsu, shuriken clone technique, can be learned. It can be decomposed. After decomposing, you can get 100 bad points. Naruto raised an eyebrow. I'm sorry, it's my dog's eyes that look down on people. You're sitting in the Hokage building, there's no way your gift bag is a waste. I silently accepted the gift bag. In Naruto's mind, there was a problem. For 6 years, he traveled to every corner of Konoha under the pretext of practicing with Guy. He also suffered from the cold eyes of every villager. Except for some special places he can't go. For example, the Hokage building at the foot, Anbu will drive him out. For example, the family land of the ninja family cannot enter at all. A medium-sized family like the Nara's family is a bit more modest, and they just told him that the front is a private territory. This kind of Hyuga family can't wait to kick him out directly. I don't know if it has something to do with Hinata. He is too lazy to go to the small family, but it is worth mentioning that even if Uchiha is destroyed, there will be rewards for signing in. He tried twice. Take a throw once and a body flicker technique once. It's rubbish, not to mention Sharingan, not even fire style. In addition, the system space is sold, so Naruto is gone. In fact, rewards are trivial, The important thing is that the sign in location seems to only recognize the location, regardless of the specific circumstances.
This is what Naruto values. Because if so, in theory, even if Konoha is gone, he can continue to sign in.
But who knows what will happen in the future? Walk into the Hokage office. Holding a handboard, 3rd generation glanced at the incoming 7th class. Meet you again, Naruto. Class 7, right? Let me see. 3rd generation found the last D-class mission on the handboard. Help Mr. Nonaka in the suburbs to fertilize in water. The mission scroll is here. Hearing that it was a D-level mission, Sasuke frowned. What he is looking forward to is a combat mission, a mission that will allow him to grow quickly. But he also understands that this is a stage that normal ninjas have to go through. Sasuke secretly clenched his fists. The little Sakura also pouted. What? It turns out to be doing farm work. Isn't there an easier task? That's right. Naruto also raised his hand. Grandpa 3rd generation, can we change the mission, preferably the one that can lie down and sleep? Whoosh. Kakashi was about to give Naruto a headshot, but Naruto dodged instinctively. This moment, the atmosphere in the office suddenly became subtle. 3rd generation silently sat on the chair and looked at Naruto quietly. Kakashi was right. This kid not only has a good foundation, but also has talent. It seems that guy's practice has worked on him since he was a child. Sasuke's eyes were a little surprised. This guy, so fast. Quick, it means Kakashi. It was still in front of him just now, but it suddenly flashed behind Naruto, and he didn't even react. But even so, can Naruto escape easily? Sasuke clenched his fists tighter. This guy, it turns out that all these years of laziness are just appearances. He must have an unknown way of cultivation. That's right, it must be like this. When I was wasting time in ninja school, this guy was definitely practicing secretly. Hateful. Such a simple and easy to understand truth, why did he only understand it now? It has been pulled down a lot. Little Sakura was also a little surprised. But she couldn't see the way in it, and even thought that Mr. Kakashi did it on purpose. But when she turned her head, she saw the picture on the wall. Huh? Naruto, you look like this lord. Really, hair color and hairstyle. Naruto, look. The voice just fell. A writing brush on the table in front of 3rd generation fell to the ground with a click. The air was quiet for a second. At this moment, the atmosphere seemed extremely awkward. But little Sakura obviously didn't notice. How familiar does this lord look? I know. Little Sakura's eyes lit up. This is Lord 4th Hokage, the hero who saved Konoha. Naruto was expressionless. I thought you should shut your stinky mouth now. No one here needs you to popularize science. This is the 4th generation program. Go home and sleep now. Young Master 4th generation is so handsome. Little Sakura continued, and secretly glanced at Sasuke. Then, she discovered something again and stepped forward on tiptoe. Huh? Master 4th Hokage's eyes. Naruto, look, your eyes are similar to Master 4th Hokage's. Boom. 3rd generation's bong smashed on the table, and the sparks that popped out fell on the documents, burning many holes immediately. Oops. I don't know if it's the file or what. 3rd generation hurriedly cleared their eyes, but did not forget to pay attention to Naruto's expression. What expression can Naruto have? 6 years of dead fish eyes, 6 years of dejected face. He has long practiced the ability of Taishan collapse in front of him, and the salty fish will not change. Naruto was indifferent to Sakura's mysterious operation. That's right, senior guy said that too. Okay, it's getting late. Kakashi rounded things up in time. Hurry up and carry out the task. Don't complain, all ninjas come from this way. Guys like you, the gold masters of high-level missions, don't dare to entrust you with the mission. Kakashi half pushed and half rushed, and it can be regarded as sending the 7th class out. The 3rd generation project cleans up the desktop. I looked at a lot of files that were missing out of black holes. I don't know what I'm thinking.